You want to talk about somebody on the other end of the ball, though. Somebody
Okay.
that he would bury, and that's because
Because he's a
uh,
DB, the
he's
poor
a
guy.
DB, poor guy. But who do you want to talk about for your second guy?
I got CJ Henderson, cornerback out of Florida. He's a junior. Um, Now, I did last week. It was last week or last
Yeah,
episode. I
you did
did
Jeff
Jeff
Okuda.
Okuda.
Yep.
Um, they're similar in ways, but I'm going to tell you right now, straight up, my honest opinion. Love Jeff Okuda more. Um,
And I think that's
well,
universal, right? Like it's
yeah, but it's just me. Just me. Like, no, there's lots to like about C.J. Henderson. Don't get me wrong. So here's another guy. Where did I write down his height and stuff? Maybe I didn't. Apparently, I didn't. That's great. But he's 6'1" for sure.
He's 6'1", 204.
Oh yeah, 6'1", 204. Yeah, yeah, I see it now. I got it written down. But anyway, so he's got length to him as well. His arms aren't as long as Akuda's, but he makes the best of it. Another cornerback who will come up and make a tackle, and he mostly wraps, which is a big deal with me because when you're a cornerback or a safety and you come up and try to hockey check a guy, that's no good, man. Because you can knock them back 5 yards, but you don't bring them down and you fall down, and then he takes off for 15. So
if you knock him down, some of these running backs, you get Todd Gurley out there, he's not going down from a hockey check, right?
Exactly. Well, most of the NFL, they're big boys. Even the smaller backs in the NFL are deceiving as hell and stronger than hell. J.D. Drew, great example of that. He was a thick, short little beeper. But all right, so he had 26 solo tackles. He had 0 interceptions this year, but he had pass knocks down, I call them pass break. Well, yeah, but I call it pass breakups, people. Yeah. So he deflected 11 balls, huge, just as good as an interception, honestly. And here's the thing I really liked about his game. He had 1 sack this year. The previous year, 2018, he had 3 sacks, and he had 2 interceptions. And they played him. He played a lot when he was a freshman as well, but he was in nickel, and he looked the part. So that's a little bit different than Jeff Okuda.
And maybe he is a nickel, right? Because I'm just looking here back in 2017 in his his first year.
I'm just gonna say right now, he can play wide.
Well, he went and had 4 interceptions back then, right? So,
but he's very versatile.
He went from 4 to 2, and maybe it's part of the thing is you're getting less people throwing your way when people start knowing, right? Like if they know.
Well, when he got a little bit further on, exactly. But he had when he was playing nickel and he was a freshman, he had good cornerbacks there. You know what I mean? He had good help there. Like Florida's known for always being a good defensive team. So anyway, so where am I going with this? Okay, so
sorry, took you off.
It's all right, man. This is what it's all about. So like I just said, Jeff Okuda, he didn't get the opportunity to blitz like this guy, but Henderson made the best of it. Like he's really deceiving and he's good at coming off the edge. That is very valuable in the NFL. If you're a safety or if you're cornerback, it's very underrated. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if you people watch the Eagles. Jim Schwartz is their defensive coordinator. He's great for bringing safeties and cornerbacks and stuff. It's awesome.
You just want to disguise the blitz, right?
Super good blitzer, and he gets there. And if he doesn't get there, he gets his hands up, which is really smart. So he'll just throw that timing off, or you know what I'm saying. Like he'll throw the timing off, or the pass will just not be where it should be. So his boys can make up for it. If that makes any sense at all.
It does.
He's got good speed, which I enjoy. You can leave him alone on the island. So by that I mean he doesn't need help over the top. He's got really good speed. He's on the hip of the receiver. I noticed I also wrote down that he's really good at undercutting the passes or interceptions. Not even just interceptions. Like I said, he had 11 pass breakups, so he's very good at undercutting the receiver and getting his hands out there. So I wanted to emphasize that. Pretty good in zone. He also had a pick off a zone, which I was impressed with. Doesn't have his eyes in the backfield as much as I'd like. But for the most part, he does. Not all the time, though. So you can see why he's not like number 1 that way. But he's definitely up there at number 1. Mm-hmm. What else do I want to highlight? He's not afraid to. Pretty good in zone, yeah. Pretty good tackler. I already mentioned that. What else do I want to say about the guy? He hell of a competitor. Here's another guy that whistle to whistle, which I don't think is, which I really do think is a big part. Like you want a guy who's, you don't want to take that chance. You see in the NFL nowadays where it's a receiver drops the ball and a guy picks it up and runs to the end zone and you're like, what is he doing? You're better off doing that. Like it just shows that, sometimes you can't hear the whistle. You're playing in Seattle, you're playing in New England, like you know what I mean? Or you're playing in Arrowhead and the crowd is just that like noisy. So I really enjoy watching this guy. Like I said, Jeff Okudah though, there's a reason why he's number one.
Yeah, and this guy,
right?
like he had like some of his best defensive games. When it came to like batting down passes and stuff. He had He had pass defenses. 3 pass defenses against LSU, 3 against Auburn. Like he had a lot of good stuff. He's that new age. And
he held up really good against Joe Burrow and because he had Chase a lot.
Yeah,
which I was really surprised. Well, he had both of them, but he did really well. Like he, obviously they caught some balls on him, but that's a juggernaut offense, right?
Well, and he's got good speed. He ran a 4. I think he ran 4.3, 4.39. So he's got good speed that you want to see. He's 6'1", so he's got a little bit of height to him too, which is something.
He's lengthy too, but he's not as long as I find. As Okudah too.
No, exactly. But he like you said, he's just so good at breaking up those passes. Does he have to work a little bit on his hands? Maybe a little bit. But. Sometimes.
I don't know if I mentioned that. Pretty good impress.
Sometimes if you're going for that interception instead of the breakdown, bat down, sometimes you just miss. You whiff on it, right? Sometimes you miss it.
And he's
it's hard. It's harder to get 2 hands out than one.
Play. He does go for the big play, which you can respect if you make it. But like I said, like 11, I can't stress that enough. 11 deflections, and there's probably more than that. That's huge. Just as good as an interception,
Yeah, and even though I know he
like you said earlier, it seemed like a lot of really good or a lot of teams went away from him, looking the other way. So
no,
can't stress that enough. He's doing something right.
He's got a couple he's got good hips. He turns well, lots of stuff. I think he's got to get a little bit strong. I think he's got to get a little bit stronger just for the tackling. I know he doesn't really shy away from the tackling, but sometimes I think. If he doesn't get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, I think he's going to have a harder time.
He doesn't seem as willing?
Well, I think he's just going to have a harder time tackling against the bigger guys, against men instead of college guys, right? So it's just little things like that. But other than that, he's good, right? He's got good.
He is good.
Eye discipline. He said he's
good instincts, really good instincts. He's pretty good in zone too, so that's good. He can play more than one scheme, which is great.
Yeah, and even when he was playing against the good teams like LSU, he played some good teams over there at Florida, and he wasn't getting killed, and that's where you want to see. It's one thing to see a guy
competes his ass off, and you can respect that. Like when a guy's competing his ass off and giving you 110, your teammates just love you. Your coach loves you.
It's one thing to have crazy numbers against someone like Vanderbilt or some of these other South Carolina
South Carolina, they're rebuilding, but they were good earlier.
But you got some of these teams out there that they're just not on the same level. But then
exactly, I get what
when you see them step up against Auburn, LSU, Georgia, Florida State, even Miami. Miami's doing better this year. You have all these teams that they're on the up and up, and you stood there right with them. That's what you want to see out of these guys, right? So I don't care if you're putting up the the old thing from longest yard was
too. I don't know if I mentioned it, but he does have the capability. If he makes an interception, to bring it to the house. Yeah. Last year he scored 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs for touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to throw that out there. The guy's an athlete.
You want that big playability, right? Like that's what all these teams want nowadays. So that's now to a guy that I don't think they ever played against each other.
I want to clarify myself too. Like I know I said he doesn't look in the backfield at the quarterback all the time.
Yeah. But that's because
he does a lot. He does a lot. Like I feel like like Jeff Okudah just does it more. Like
Yeah.
he's
And
just a
it's
little bit like if there's a grade, he's a little bit higher. That's all I'm saying, people. He's really good. Like CJ Henderson, if you get your hands on him, you're probably going to be happy. Like
no, it's
I don't want to make it sound
especially
like
because you're not going
he's
to be
a really
spending
good player.
top 5 on him, right? He's probably going to fall to. I didn't look to see where they have him going.
He could go top 10. If not, he'll probably be top 15. Somewhere on a corner. They're valuable.
Yeah, well, it's
let's say if you pick him in the top 15, you're not under the you're not batshit crazy. Like you're getting a good guy, good player.
Yeah, and
he's a playmaker. Like he's a little underrated that way. Like he does seem to read coverages, and so he must be good in the film room. But anyways, I'm not gonna speculate on that. So what do you think? Do you like him or what?
No, I think he's good. Like I said, he's
really good. Yeah,
I think he's the second best, right? Like that's kind of the best way to look at it.
You know what? It kind of hurt him, probably, in my opinion. Doing him this week too, is that I did Okudah last week, and like I told you, it just seemed like he's always looking in the backfield, and every damn pass is contested, which I love. Like his hand was just always out. But I did like I said, a little bit of like an edge in a couple things. Like Okudah seemed to be a little more aggressive when it comes to bubble screens, and he was able to get off shed blocks a little bit better, a lot better.
Yeah, I see one draft here. He's going to the Cowboys at 17. Just from
I hope for his sake he doesn't go to the Cowboys. So I'm not going to cheer for him.
The Cowgirls.
That's right. America's team. What have the America's team won lately? Diddly do, boy.
Listen, not everybody can be the stupid freaking Patriots.
Jared Stidham's going to show the world, boy.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think he goes in the first round. I just don't know where. I think probably more of in that mid to later, but I guess we'll wait and see.
You know where I'd love to see him go? Just going to throw a team out there, Minnesota.
They could use him. They got rid of Xavier Rhodes, right? So